What happens if you get sick? Do you have a sick rescheduling policy also for yourself? It's not only about our clients, it's not only about cancellation policies. That's what this episode is about today. Learn from me. And let's get to it. So, I got super sick. I don't know if you've heard, and this is not a fear-mongering podcast. I don't like to watch the news. I'm just making some awareness around it. That's supposed to be like the worst flu season that we've had in a while because of everything going on right now. So having said that, I actually got really, really sick this weekend. I had to reschedule my Friday event. Thank goodness there was other businesses going there. So I was supposed to attend that event. I wasn't able to attend it last minute. I missed a friend's also like engagement that I was supposed to go to, party. And then I also missed my clients. I had to reschedule two of my clients, and thank goodness they were not wedding clients. So in this episode, we're going to be really diving deep into us as professionals. What are we doing to also guard ourselves and our business in case the things happen, that we are human, and not only clients, but beauty pros get sick too. What is your policy? It's all about today. So first, what is your policy if you do get sick? Do you have rescheduling policy? Do you have that as part of your agreement when your clients come in? Do they understand what they need to do? I think it's so important that you put this in place, not only for yourself, but also for your clients. So for me, because of this whole, panorama thing and flu season and people get sick and things happen, emergencies happen, I do have a policy in my own business. If you're sick, I ask that you please reschedule. And you please let me know within 72 hours, because that gives me enough time to usually put somebody into that slot of time that one of my clients is not able to come in. And I do this because, number one, I don't want to get sick, right? So you have to think about your own health. If you are prone to get sick more often, I tend to wear masks. To each their own. I wear my mask. My clients do not have to wear a mask. I do it because I can get sick and I want to keep my germs to myself, and anything else that can go through, hopefully can stay away from me. But I just really like to keep all my clients safe and healthy. This has helped me so much this past 2 years, and I am not going to let go of that. I'm going to continue wearing a mask, and it's not because I'm scared of anything. It's for the health and safety of all. And my clients know that is part of my policy. Celeste wears a mask. They don't make a big deal out of it. They don't care. Some of them wear a mask as well. Some of them don't. So I let everybody choose their own way. For me and my health and my safety, and to make sure I don't have to do lots of cancellations or get sick all the time, I do this, and it has helped immensely. I think this year I've only had to reschedule. I think this is like the first or second time I've had to reschedule this whole year, which is amazing for being sick. So make sure that you have a policy in place. Number two, what happens if you do get sick? So how do clients reschedule? I think it's really important that we always have room in our schedule. I am not the hairstylist or beauty pro. If you guys want to have 1 million followers, 100,000 followers, and be overworked and overbooked and don't have a life outside of work, this podcast is not for you. I am not going to be talking about that or ever advising that. What I am advising is this whole thing of this give and take, where you can have a life and you can have a business at the same time. And part of that is that when I reschedule, I always have room for one magic hour, what I call. And my magic hour is, yes, of course, I have breaks and I take a lunch. But my magic hour is in case something happens where I have to reschedule somebody, or an emergency or an opportunity, because opportunities come up last minute too. I have that wiggle room to make it happen. So in this case, I do have weddings coming up and homecomings this weekend. So my client that had to reschedule, I gave her 2 different dates. She chose the date that worked best for her. She chose the hour that worked best for her, and she's coming in at that time. Now, the second part it's going to be about what do you do for your clients when you reschedule. Okay, and then part 2 of this is going to be about what do you do for your clients. So everybody talks about, and I feel like it's everywhere, and I'm trying not to be on social too much either. that, like if you cancel, I charge you 50%. If you cancel, I charge you 100%. And you need to reschedule within this time and all this BS I see, right? Which is true. We should have policies, but this is why I call it BS. Why is it that we expect our clients to do all that, but then what happens when we get sick? What are we doing for our clients is my question to you. Because for me, it's a two-way street. I'm like, if you're sick, I don't want to see you. I do lose money when I don't see a client, but you should have other things in place like deposits, like cancellation policies, reschedule policies to make sure your income is not really that affected when things like this happen. By the same token, if I reschedule on somebody, I am going to give my clients extra things. So I tend to be able to, I'll give them like an extra treatment that is not a lot of cost to me, but it's amazing for the hair and they love. That's something else that I do. So, and there's other two things that I do for my clients if I ever reschedule because I'm sick or something happened. So my question to you is, what do you do in your business for that part? Because how is it fair that we're always just doing it one part for us and never thinking about our clients? And this has a lot to do also, to give you some context or behind the scenes or some backstory to this. Think about your brand values. Think about your values as a business owner, as a business. What are your mission and your values in your business? For me, is to be in integrity and to be have equity in my business, to also have diversity and inclusion in my business. And part of that has to do with health as well. And I am going to be doing an episode pretty soon on this, but part of that, equity and inclusion and diversity of everybody is that we all have different health. And I know it's not talked a lot about this, but I suffer from my own health issues that have nothing separate from a mental anxiety issue that affect me, and I don't want it to, but it does. It's part of life, and it's how I've learned how to live beyond it. And I am very open-hearted to that. That's a very big value of mine, that I understand I am doing business with humans and they understand that I'm a human as well and things can happen. I may be sick, things may happen where I need to reschedule. I really try not to, but that is where our policies really come into place for our clients to really understand what happens if you're sick today or tomorrow. Does your client know exactly what's going to happen? Do they know when they're going to get rescheduled? Do they know what they're going to get as part of your policy, as part of your brand value and promise and mission? It's so important that we start thinking about that because it happens. We all get sick, or a kid gets sick, or the babysitter gets sick. It's happened to me. So it's really important to be flexible and have open communication because we are in the people business. And the last part of today's episode is going to be also in regards to our rescheduling and canceling policy. Not just for your clients and all the stuff I see thrown everywhere about what our clients, the repercussions to them, but what are the repercussions to you? Do you have a sick fund? Do you have an emergency fund? I know that sounds funny, but I have an emergency fund in my own business. I have a sick fund in my own business because I think it's really important to be prepared for the unexpected, right? I have health insurance, something that's going to get talked a lot about in our business. Health insurance is so important, and I want to share a little bit as we talk about sick policies and everything. Also, the importance of taking care of your mental, physical, and spiritual self, whatever you believe in. Health insurance. I have health insurance. Do I enjoy paying for health insurance? Hell to the no. Do I enjoy paying my co-payments when I go to the doctor or something happens? Hell to the no. But I want to share this story with you because this really deeply impacted me at a young age. And I hope this helps you in understanding if you don't have health insurance or don't even know what your health insurance covers, that you really go into it, talk to your agent. I am not a licensed health insurance agent anymore, so I can't advise you on that, but contact the person who's in charge of your health insurance policy. Find out there's awesome programs that can make it more affordable as well, no matter how much money you make. Even if you make over $300,000, there's ways that you can get affordable health insurance. So when I was around 17, I think it was 16, 17. I knew somebody, he was super healthy, had an amazing business, amazing home, family, everything, right? Everything going for them. And he had this person had a really bad heart attack, and he lost his business, he lost his home, he lost everything, except for his family. But it did affect his family a lot. And the reason why he lost all that is because he did not have health insurance. His health bills ended up being $500,000, so $500,000. And even that at 16, 17 years of age, that's a lot of freaking money. That's $500,000. That was like years ago, like over 20 years ago that happened. And he lost it all. I never knew how much health insurance or your health can happen all of a sudden. Even if you're healthy, it can affect your life and impact it in such a huge way. And that was one of the biggest lessons for me, to have health insurance. So I suffer from health issues now. If I tried to get certain type of health plans now, knowing my record of my health, as our health deteriorates, our insurance rates can go up, right? It depends where you live and all that stuff. That's what I mean. I am not an insurance agent. I'm just giving you some insight. And as we get older, our premiums can go up and all that stuff. And it depends what plan you have. And, the better coverage and the less deductible you pay out of pocket, the more you have to pay per month and all those things. And I think that's so important as beauty professionals, that we find out a way to put our pride aside and really see if there's health insurance programs out there for us, because there is. I live in California. There are programs like I know Covered California. Again, I'm not a health insurance agent, but they help a lot, even if you are like middle class and higher, to get affordable health insurance if you don't qualify for low government one. They assist you with your premium. So look into things, find out, double check, research on Google, contact your county, your health department in the county. They can guide you, email them, but do your work, because this is the type of thing where health insurance, you need it when you need it. And after, if you don't have it, it can really affect your life. We have seen this. If you haven't seen this, I've seen them with huge influencer hairstylists in the world, on the IG, on Instagram, who have had, whether it's been COVID, car accidents, or different health issues, that have not had health insurance and has extremely affected their life. So that's just my 2 cents on that. I wanted to talk about that because it's not talked about enough. So find out your coverage, find out how much it is to have health insurance. I know I don't like it, but maybe you can skip the Starbucks or eating out as much to have coverage for your health. Part 2 of this, also in regards to health and your sick policies and everything, that I really want to talk about as well, is just having insurance in general. And I know you're probably like, Celeste, we're talking about sick policies and if we reschedule and things. And I understand that, but part of that is also the unexpected. If tomorrow somebody broke into your salon or to your space and stole all of your equipment, do you have the money to replace that? Makeup, I know easily you can carry $2,000 to $5,000 of makeup in a kit. It's easy, $2,000 to $5,000, easy, if not more, depending on what brands you use. Do you have coverage for that? I don't know. You should double check with your policy. I use beauty and work insurance, and they're super affordable. I think it's like $109 a year, if I'm correct. And it's they have really good coverage, for liability. So in case you hurt somebody or the unexpected happens or somebody trips while you go to your salon, all this stuff on insurance, it can be very affordable. We all can afford $109. We spend a whole bunch of money on education, online and offline. We can totally insure ourselves. It's so important that you have insurance because, man, the weirdest things can happen. Somebody can trip. It can be your best friend. You never know how people are going to react to it. People can get hurt through a bent in the ground that maybe at the salon suite where you're renting. It happened to me. No, I did not get sued, but I had to tell the owner. She ended up replacing the vents in all of the other suites because they were so flimsy. And This is the part where I always tell you, like, be prepared. I do come from an insurance background. I've seen the craziest things happen. So yes, you bet I have insurance on everything I own because it's very important. And to end this episode, part of the, sick policies, rescheduling policies, remembering that we're human, I am going to touch on this because this is something very dear to my heart. And as beauty pros, nobody ever flipping tells us this. So I am going to talk about it. And I really hope that you get a lot of value out of this. We're going to talk about life insurance. Again, I am no longer a life insurance agent, but life happens. Unexpectedly, things happen. And with life insurance, it's one of those things that if you get too sick, you can no longer have it. It's not like, you get sick, really sick, and you can go to a life insurance agent and get insurance. It doesn't work like that. Once you're really sick, there's certain things they are legally allowed to say no, because they are promising that if something happens to you and you pay your premium, they're going to pay out all that money to your family members. And I have seen how life insurance has saved families. Working in insurance, I'm just going to say this is fictitious for the sake of legalities and this podcast. I'm just going to give you some examples, also some examples of my own life. My dad did not have life insurance when I was a little girl. And we literally have a lifestyle change at 160. We were privileged, we lived in Central America at that time. But I went to a private school. My whole life got turned upside down. When he passed away, my mom didn't have a cent to her name. I've seen what that happens. I've seen people that they're about to lose their condominium because a parent passes away, but they find out they have life insurance. They're able to keep the condominium and pay the mortgage for 2 years while they're finishing college or while they're finishing high school, and are able to maintain the place where they live. I've seen people who have lost homes, who have lost businesses because either a business partner or a life partner has passed away and there's nothing to back them up, and all that debt gets passed on to them. I've seen lots of crazy scenarios. And life insurance, find out, look up into it. It's not that expensive. If you get it when you're younger, it is cheaper. And when you're healthier, so much more cheaper than as you get older and, your weight gains and your health issues come up. That does affect the rate. But I did want to talk about this because it's so important that we all realize that with all this talk about insurance as I finish this episode, number one, do your homework. Number two, that is what insurance is about, right? We have car insurance. We all do. Because we know, we don't want anybody hitting our car. We don't want to get into a car accident. But the unexpected happens, and that's why we have that insurance to help us pay for the damages, or else we have to pay it out of pocket. The same thing goes with health insurance, life insurance, and even look into disability insurance. I mean, one of the biggest lessons that I got as a woman, and being a mother, was that being in the industry and having kids, I got no benefits. I got no, benefits from the government to be at home with my kids. I got no support for that. When my disability kicked in, at the time I didn't have disability insurance. I got no support for that either. And even the coverages under disability insurance is so minimal. But I think it's so important that we do our homework, because when we need it, usually is when we can't have it, right? And we're all human. You are a human. You're allowed to get sick. You're allowed to put your health first. And I know I'm a people pleaser. It was very hard. I was literally being candid and open with you. I was crying because I had to reschedule my clients. And I was freaking so angry about it. Even though I was sick in bed, I could barely open my eyes. And I was so angry that I had to reschedule the special event that I was supposed to attend. And I had worked so hard to make these kits and all this cute stuff for the event. And that angered me a lot. But it was such a beautiful lesson for me that sometimes we number one, we are human, and that we get sick. And that's why I have policies in place. And that even though I was not able to attend that event, other events opened up as I've been sick. new inquiries for business have been coming in. I have not been posting. One of my Instagram accounts, my Celeste Stylist, like lost some followers because I'm not posting every day. And honestly, I really don't care. And it's not that I'm Celeste complacent. No, it's because my business is still growing. My business is still going, even though I have to stop to take care of my health first. And that is one of the biggest things I want to end today's episode with, is that nobody tells us that in order to grow, you need to put yourself first. You cannot, if I would have attended an event sick, I could have gotten other people sick. People would have been probably mad at me. If I would have done hair sick, I probably could have done it sick, but I could have gotten my clients sick. I could have done a mistake because I'm sick. It wouldn't have served anybody in the end. So it's so important that we have policies in place. It's so important that we understand why we do things and that we have this two-way communication. And as always, please take what serves you from this podcast, leave the rest behind. And remember that we are in business with people, with human beings on both sides of the spectrum. And nothing is like black or white or red and blue. It's actually like purple, right? So going into that purple, or what I call that gray area, right? Into the gray area of like, okay, if I expect my client to pay me 100% of their service, if they are sick and they cancel within 24 hours, am I going to be giving them 100% discount if I'm sick within 24 hours? I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm just asking questions. Like, if we charge our client for rescheduling within 72 hours, 50% or 100% of the service, then if we reschedule to them, are we going to also give them the same amount? I don't know. Like, those are questions I'm asking. When somebody reschedules on you and you're looking forward to a service, how has that felt for you? And how has that other service made it better for you when you actually went in for your rescheduled service? What was different? What made it special, or what made it worse? What can you avoid in your business? These are just questions, open-ended questions. There's nothing is right or wrong here. This is just a podcast to help you think, to help you be the detective in your own life and business, to see what is working, what you should be doing more of, and what we should be doing less on, and maybe some things to rearrange in our own life and business. So much love. I'll see you here next time. Bye, love.